So North Philly, which is now almost entirely black, right? But used to be entirely white. And when white people lived there, North Philly was a really nice area. Like, oh my God, beautiful houses, like really nice. And then people that look like you start moving in, and all of a sudden the whole area goes to shit. It's violent, it's poor, it's not kept up. But what is left out of that equation, all we see is like people that look like you move in, and it goes to shit. But what's left out of the equation is, why did it go to shit? What happened? Who owned? Who moved out? Who took care of things? Who let it go down? What happened there? Because you didn't buy it. People look like you didn't buy it because you're not going to. Because Caroline, you said that you're not going to. It's going to be really difficult to get loans, okay? Because of racism.
Yeah, it was just based on skin color. Like there was a study that they gave more loans to low-income white people than upper or middle-class Black Americans when redlining was prominent in America.
Yeah. So now we look here, and we look at these numbers here, and we say like, oh, okay. I look around the room. I look at the three of you, right? You're this Dominican guy. You're a white woman. You're a Latina African woman, right? American. You're pretty American, actually. Okay. So here you are, the three of you. You're all equal, basically, right? I mean, you're all equal here. I mean, let's face it, right? So you have an equal chance. We get to the end. The chances of one of you having more wealth or less wealth, it's a coin toss. And it's probably true for most people in this classroom, okay? There are some people in here who are really rich, and there are some people in here who are really pretty poor. But most of you all are somewhere in between. What's your class background?
Mainly German, but that's very...
What's your economic class?
Like upper middle class.
Yours? Upper middle class? Okay, so here, just come over here. Bring the microphones for a second. Just come stand right here. Right on this step. No, actually. So you stand right here. Who's from the upper class? Bro, come here. Plus you're white, so it's just more fun. But you got cool shorts. Okay, dude, so you're going to stand right here. What's your name? Austin. Oh, that's an upper class name too. All right. And who's poor? Who's poor? I need someone from the lower class. This is Caleb. Caleb's poor. All right? You're right here, man. All right? Can I sit down or no, just stand here for a second. You're only going to be a hot minute. So listen. So let's say you're all here in class. And presumably you all have an equal chance of doing well because you're all here. Caleb can study just as hard as Kay, who can study just as hard as Caroline, can study just as hard as Leonardo, and we can all study. And Caleb, you can study just as hard as Austin. You can be Austin, man.
Probably not. I'm not very good at studying.
Well, okay, but you could be, maybe. Theoretically, you could be. Let's see. This is what we see today. You're all here. You're in this class. You're all trying to get to the top. So this is the ladder of upward mobility. And you're all trying to get to the top. Because the top is success. Okay? And here you are. You're all from 3 different backgrounds. And this is good. And we got poor person down here. You got the rich person. Okay, so now we're gonna watch it happen. Okay? We're going to watch it happen. This is how it's going to play itself out. Okay, so everyone just start walking. Okay, stop. Right? So here. So check this out, man. Look at Caleb here. Stay right there. Don't even move. You're mid-step. Look at Caleb. Shit, man. Caleb, he started down here. He went to Penn State. He studied. And look at him now, man. Like, this is awesome. Like, he got here. And, he's going to keep working hard and maybe keep going a little bit. Maybe he's going to get, right here. And then Caleb's going to have a child. And the child is going to start here. The child's not starting here. Okay? So Caleb did what he's supposed to do. He went to school, he worked hard, he did what he had to do, he got a job, he invested his money, and he got here, and he's going to have a child, and his child's starting here, and then his child might end up there. Okay? But check this out. So come back to here for a second. So now, but look, so you got to there. But look where they started here, and Caleb didn't catch up with them. He's not going to catch up with them. He might, okay, it's possible, but he's probably not going to catch up with Kay and Caroline and Leonardo. Because they started here, man. You got it? Like, they're here. And then they're like, you're thinking like, you're all upper middle class, right? You want to catch up with this guy. But this guy, look where he is. He started here, but like while they're working their tails off to get to improve, and they did. If they did nothing, if Caleb did nothing, if these three did nothing, if they just sat on their rear ends and did absolutely nothing, they didn't go to school, they didn't work hard, they did nothing, they'd still be back there. But they didn't. They got here. But here's Austin. Here he is. And if we start again, he's going to be up there. Everyone's going to move up, and he's going to be there. And so the idea is all we ever see is the starting place. So all we ever see, we think about is them we see us all at the same starting place. We don't see the sociology that's happening. We start at 2000. Most of you were born after 2000, right? 2003, 2, 3, 4. We start right there. Why are people complaining still, right? Like, isn't that like people must say that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, they just say like work hard and you'll get success, but your definition of hard work is so much different compared to other people. And like, you have to work so much harder to even get to their starting point versus somebody else who's already started there.
Well, it's even that. It's not, it's partly is that, and partly is you have white people, look, just in terms of black people, Just let me stick for a moment, and Hispanic people, you have this many years of wind at our sails. Like, why is our net worth, generational wealth, so much more on average? Caroline and I, we have these sails from the moment we're born. I mean, maybe we don't benefit. You're from Erie, I'm from Toledo. These aren't exactly two, like, really vibrant areas of life. But still, on average, if we add up all white Americans, we're just like already being sort of moved forward by 300 plus years of history. It's like, damn, and everything, every law that was passed, every redlining law, every negative thing that held people back benefited my relatives. So when there was redlining in, someone who looks like Kayleen or Leonardo from the Dominican Republic can't get a loan in a neighborhood that's going to be an up-and-coming neighborhood. If I buy this house here, in 30 years, that house is going to be double the value. It's like, no, Leonardo and Kay, what's going to happen is you're going to buy a house over here, and in 30 years, the house is going to have the same value. It's like, well, I bought it in this other neighborhood. My ancestors, so they made money. They did well. And you got 300 years of that stuff going on. Leonardo, what thoughts do you have on this? What that exercise right there on the stairs, where does it lead you?
Like, I'm aware there's like differences when it comes to like social status, I guess. And yeah, I think it's obviously tougher when you start at a lower position, and yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, okay. Kay, anything?
I mean, it's also kind of like, I feel once we were into like the green part after segregation, and like it was kind of more like, oh yeah, we're all like equal, we're all the same. They kind of like, it's easier to have the mentality of like, oh, well, like if I did it, anyone can do it. But like, they don't really think of like the factors that they have working against them. They just see all the opportunities that they can have and that they can use to like gain more wealth or like, move up on the ladder.
Caroline, anything that struck you in that?
I can go back to like when we talked about in the beginning, like choice versus structure, and how we can say that everybody has the illusion of choice of becoming more successful, but in reality, it's systems created by the government or other people that have held certain groups back over the other ones.
That maybe you don't see. So like Austin back here, he's gonna look down there and he's gonna see Caleb, and he says, dude, you have no choice but to see Caleb as a guy who, like, well, I don't know how to explain why Caleb's down there, because, like, I don't know. I'm going to have to come up with something, because it's not me. It's not, I'm just doing my thing, because you're here too, right? You didn't, like, I didn't give you, so you're upper class. I didn't give you the answers to the quiz, right? You don't have answers to the quiz. I'm not writing your packbacks for you, right? So he's studying just like everybody else is studying. He's doing what he has to do, and he's spinning his wheels, and he's going here. It's okay. So he has no other way to understand what's going on down there with Caleb than to just say that, well, I don't know, something must be happening. So here's household wealth, okay? Now this is, I'm just going to focus on black families and white families, okay? Or households. And so here's white people, it's 1983 is the blue, and 2013. This is all the wealth. This is like all your retirement accounts, your home, the land, stocks, cars, minus your debt. Okay? Got it? So here's on average. This is household wealth for white people here. Okay? Now, take a look at this. Look at how it went up tremendously, right? So you think, okay, at some point in time, black people, because, you know, we have all these affirmative action programs and we have all these things that are happening, black people are going to catch up, right? They're going to catch up because this is how it works. So look at all these black people in the room. You all eventually, you're going to work hard and you're going to do your thing and you're going to catch up. If nothing happens for the next 30 years, this is what it's going to look like. White people, this is where, go back one. So this is this number right here, 650,000, let's say. Go forward, right? So it's about 650,000. Here's where it's going to be for white people. Here's black people. This is compound interest. The wealth is in the hands of certain racial groups, and we can't bust out of that. And we refuse, no matter what we do, unless we go to the white people and we say, listen, man, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take money away, but not like, who are we going to take it away from? Caleb? Like, we can't take it away from him. Oh, no, only Austin. Well, wait, hang on. Only Austin? Like, what about Caroline? What about Sam? Like, what are we going to do? How are we going to do this? How are we going to make this rectify it? We got centuries of giving people a head start. And, like, I don't know what to do. But it's not equal. You remember when Will was here? SAT scores and family income? Who has the lowest SAT scores on average in the United States? Leonardo, who do you think has the lowest SAT scores? What racial group?
Lower income families.
So on average, who is that?
So like lower class people.
Okay, but what racial group?
Like black people, I guess.
So first off, Native Americans have the lowest. And then black people. And then Hispanic people. And then white people. And then Asian people. And Asians, just because, it's just study is a thing. Is that surprising to anybody? Is that racist? It's not racist. It's not racist at all, man. It just is. Oh, against the Asians, it is, yeah. It is what it is. Why would that be surprising to anybody? Why do you think black people are always talking about history? Do you want to start with that? Black people are always talking about history, man. We got to look at history. Look at history. And white people are like, motherfucker, stop talking about history. Talk about today. And white people are like, no, man, black people, we got to talk about history. You're not going to understand this if we don't talk about history. So, Caroline, why are they always talking about history?
I mean, I think it shows how they were, how some people have been affected for hundreds of years and how it can still feel repercussions today. So if we understand the wrongdoings back then, we can try to move on and make better systems for other people.
Yeah. Anybody? Okay. Do you have anything to add to that? As someone who's half black,
Yeah.
or fully black. I don't know. Is your Cuban side black or white or mestizo?
Like mixed.
Mixed? Okay.
Yeah.
So why would you always talk about history?
I mean, also like to agree with what Caroline said, it's like important to know like what happened to people in the past and like, you know, things that held them back, it can like still affect them and like, you know, like
No, hang on. Not can still affect them.
like still does affect them. And
Affects-
it's also
Yeah.
like important to like, I feel like to know history, because if you don't know history, you're bound to repeat it and like have it happen again or let it keep on happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Leonardo, how about you? Like, what's the importance of history here?
Well, I think it's pretty clear we have to be conscious of what has happened so we don't repeat the same mistakes.
Yeah, but it's not. Hang on. Okay. Is it repeat or is it to know? Because, right, it's also to know. It's like, it would be like trying to try to be a student in this class if I spoke a different language than you. You wouldn't get anything. It's like you can't understand what's going on in terms of race inequality today if you don't look at this history. We haven't even touched Native Americans. And for anybody to say, listen, for example, black people should get away from this history thing and should stop complaining and should stop whatever. It's like, they're not complaining. They're telling us to say, if you don't look at what happened, you cannot understand what is happening today. You will never understand ever. It's not possible. It's just this thing. It's basic. It's like if you don't speak English, you will never understand what's happening in 100 Thomas in Soc 119. It's impossible. You will never understand. It's not an excuse. It's just intellectual understanding. My God.